like Benson, I'm a Who Dat.
I'm a Who Dat.
Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat.
I'm a Who Dat.
Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Buggy like this and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a Who Dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
After looking at the tape from last week's game, I mean, how much of a step forward do you think you took against New England?
I think it's just another week, still building, still working. Felt sharp. Need to finish in the red zone as a group better, but it's just another week.
You're watching that defense on Monday night with Chicago. The one thing that stood out was the turnovers. Is that kind of the same thing in terms of just like what this defense can do?
Sure. I mean, yeah, I think they're first in the league with creating turnovers, so we got to respect that, and we got to be on our A game, protecting the ball, in all positions. So that's the main focus this week, especially playing these guys, and we're gonna have to be dialed in.
Spencer, like, how do you, when you're looking at this offense, you're doing a lot of things well, just not necessarily clicking in certain areas. Like, how do you view that? Like, when you're doing things well, but it's not all kind of coming together. Like, whether it's red zone, third down, whatever the case may be.
It's a group thing, We know we got to fix it. We know we got to clean up in those areas and make it happen on game day. We get down, we're really good within the 20s, it feels like, and then we get down and kind of stall out, if it's on whatever it is with penalties, you name it. I think back to the game, we had just a couple penalties that we could have possibly scored on, and then a couple missed opportunities in the run and pass game. So we just got to clean it up overall. But just keep playing.
What's it like going up, against Dennis Allen, go here to 30
He'll sweep your girlfriend off her feet. The reason I know so much about him is because he's moved up an old girl of mine.
Swept her right off her feet and into the jag.
Knowing him a little bit better and whatnot, and what do you think of his defense?
Yeah, I mean, I was only here a year with him. Obviously he's a great defensive mind, does a lot of different things. Been doing it a long time. He's really smart. I mean, I remember, last year in camp and stuff like that, with having to deal with all those looks. So he's not going to make it easy, that's for sure. It's going to be a challenge. We know he's going to bring it, so we got to be on our A game.
Spencer, obviously, if you're going up against Bears, Caleb's going to be on the other side. What did you take from that moment a couple years ago when Caleb in the game and your pass guy diverged from there? Like, was that ultimately part of what got you here to this point?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, I think it is what it is. We all have our own paths, and we've got to do our best with our own path. So it is what it is. The past is the past. We're focused on the present and the future. But I would say, yeah, that definitely led me to South Carolina. It was a blessing in disguise. That I got to play with the Gamecocks and develop there, and ready to go to the league after that. I mean, just how to deal with adversity. I think it's not the first time a quarterback has had to go through something, but adversity is the quarterback position. It's what comes with the job, and you've got to deal with it and move on to the next.
Do you have like a friendship relationship with Caleb?
Cordial, I'll say what's up to him at the game, but I got respect for him. Good player.
I'm going to ask you something that's probably impossible to answer, but like, where do you think your pocket feel comes from? Like, it seems like it's like one of your, that's you were born with, like you got out there and that was you, or did you build that?
Well, I appreciate that. I think since playing as a kid, being able to run around a little bit, feel the pocket, obviously a lot of years of work and still got a lot of room for improvement, just wanting to feel that time clock in your head. You got to play with the time clock, especially at this level. You don't got much time to get the ball out, so you got to play fast. You got to play with good tempo, have good feet, and try to get the ball out. But just that natural feel, I guess you could say, on top of a lot of reps and just working it throughout drills and practice.
When it starts breaking down, like, does your heart rate go up, or you just ice cold, like just?
Sometimes you get a little, you want to run around a little bit, make something happen, but you got to stay somewhat controlled. I feel like last year I got a little too frantic in some situations in the pocket, and then that turns to sacks or negative plays. So if you can eliminate those negative plays, which I think we've done this year pretty well within the pocket, and getting the ball back to the line of scrimmage or making something positive out of it, I think that's the key to keeping the chains moving.
Is that just the point of development? When maybe something's a route's taking a little longer to develop than you expected, and you have to kind of just buy time inside the pocket. Is that kind of a point of development for you in year two?
I think just more reps, more experience, seeing things a little better, feeling a little more comfortable in the game. But yeah, you do have to buy some time at times. I know, as quarterbacks we're taught, be it 10 yards in that pocket so you can step up and let your tackles do the job of washing them by, which I think they've done a great job. But sometimes you might have to get to 11 and then step up just to create a little time. So I think it's all just based off feel and if the pocket's clean or not.
All right, shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all being in this episode of the show. Much love to the fam. Much love to everybody, man. We up in this Coma show for Humpday Heat, man. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate you for being in the live. I'm coming at you a little later than what I want, man. My schedule been kind of on that side, but man, a round of applause for all you guys out there. Hit that like button, man. We up in this thing. Big ups. OG. Shout out to OG for being a member for the last 16 months. Shout out to you, OG. Appreciate you.
Donations. Gifts. More gifts.
That's pretty funny, man. What's up, fam? Appreciate y'all. Saints Full Circle Podcast. What's happening, man? What's up, Mr. Jeffrey? Shout out to you, fam. Shout out to OG. Appreciate you too, my brother. All right, but anyway, what's up with one of you guys for being in the stream? Saints Full Circle Podcast. Says Spencer he says Spencer got it on his mind. We want that revenge. Yeah, I started it off by talking about Spencer Rattler, man, because this is if anything he needs to get fired up for, this is he could pay that guy back, man. So it's different things going on, man. We're in this thing. What's up, Bastion? Shout out to you, man. AK the scientist. What's up, AKA? Big ups to you guys. Appreciate you for being in the live. Do me a service if you guys are listening by way of YouTube or Instagram, or whether you're on X or wherever, hit that like button. If you're on X, give me a retweet, fam. We up in this thing, man. We're going to be doing a look at the Saints, man. We're going to do I know I'm doing my preview show a little earlier because I'm not going to be able to be with you guys on Thursday. I got a lot of busy stuff I got to do, but big ups to all y'all, man. Let's get into this thing, man. Let's get in this on Saints Humpday Heat episode of the Coma, the New Orleans Saints injury report for Wednesday, man. AK-41 was DNP'd Wednesday. So was Isaac Yiadom. Elvin played in the matchup last week. A very, regular performance, nothing spectacular. Chris Olave appeared on the list with a hip issue, limited. Alante with a knee, and John Ridgeway working his way back into the fold. Need John Ridgeway there. He was a healthy scratch last week for the Saints. They could have activated him. Definitely need his production of what he gives in terms of anything that John Ridgeway can give the Saints defensive front, man, from just stop running the damn ball, getting ran on so much, and kind of limiting that would be a positive, if you ask me. But he's on the plus side of things. Also, if you keep looking further down, you'll see the Chicago Bears haven't submitted their list as of yet, man. So that'll be something we'll keep a look at later on. But so far, just five guys on the list, AK obviously the one right there. We'll see how bad that ankle is going into Thursday and Friday as we gear up for game time. against the Chicago Bears. Bears are an away game that we have to particularly look at. So what I want to do in this broadcast, fam, I simply want to be able to go over some stuff here and make the family members aware of keys to victory and scouting reports and 25 keys actually that I was able to kind of work on that I want to be able to deliver to you guys today after we kind of go through the breakdown with the Chicago Bears and kind of look at things, man. And this is going to be interesting. The Bears coming off a win, they feeling pretty good coming against the Saints. And listen, fam, this is the one, and I said it last week, and it goes without saying, we the Saints at 1-5, they need every last one game. This is a panic. I'm hitting the panic button. You damn right, I'm hitting the panic button at 1-5. It's catastrophic land. It's rare history territory. The Saints have to be able to take possession of their season if they're going to do anything. At 1-5, all these guys should be putting in extra work. There shouldn't be any excuses. They should be studying harder, working on their tackling, hitting the weight room, working on their playbook, getting it together. They need this win against Chicago because the season is hanging by a thread, man. It's hanging by a thread. 1-5, only when I talk about this all the time, only 4 teams in NFL history in 100 some odd years of NFL football actually went from 1-5 and into the playoffs. I've called those teams out. This is your season is hanging by a thread. If you go 1-6, it's completely over. I know they won't be mathematically eliminated, but at this point, man, 1-6 is you have to be hitting every bell and every damn thing that you have in the building. Like this is time. This is urgency time. This is red button time. This is siren time. This is everything that you can think about that you need to do. You need to be punching on right now to get this stuff under control. A 1-game approach, beating the Chi-Town Bears, then gearing up for the Tampa Bay Buccaneer team, and then going forward like that 1 game at a time until you get back into it. Because anything is happening as long as you can get back to playing decent football, man. And 1 game ain't going to cut it against a mistake-prone Giant team. The Saints need to really bring it. So anyway, man, let's get into the breakdown to kind of talk about with the black and gold. Let me kind of share my screen here as we get into it. And this is one of his is a good one right here to kind of break. And we'll talk about the players and who we need to be looking out for, Mr. Caleb Williams and all this. But like I said, this is it. The New Orleans Saints will return to the road Sunday when they play the Bears, who are 2-2 at Soldier Field. The Saints dropped, obviously, a 25-19 game to the Patriots in the Dome. The Bears are coming off a 25-24 win over the Washington Commanders on Monday night. Short week for the Bears. Should help the Saints, but you never can tell. New Orleans do lead the all-time series 18-13 between these teams. Now, the Panthers are 3-3. They play at the New York Jets, who are 0-6. They have an opportunity to be over 500 for in a minute. The Falcons are 3-2. They're at Niners country, who's 4-2 Sunday night. And the Bucks, who are 5-1, are at Detroit on Monday night. So that's some of the stuff that's going on across the NFC South. The Saints need to be really just paying attention to their business in particular and get stuff handled correctly. Now, as we get into these standings, fam, this is the standings for the New Orleans Saints through 6 weeks of football right now. The Saints offense, obviously, is horrific. The defense is allowing 27 points a game. The offense is averaging 18.5 points a game. That's 28th in the NFL. That is not going to cut it. The Saints have to score more points. I don't care how you do it, throwing the ball down the field. I don't care. They have to put up more than a touchdown or so a game. At least do 2 effing touchdowns a game, offensively speaking, and you'll get your field goals. However, but they need to do better than it. This is horrible. 18.5 is stink, is rotten, and it's not going to cut it. 18.5, which is 28th. The opponent is giving is averaging 27 or 26.7 on the Saints. Just ghastly. The Bears at 3-2, 25.2 point. That's 10 a top 10 team in NFL in terms of its scoring average. Its opponents are allowed 28.2 on them. That's 12th. So people can score on the Bears attack. Their opponent's offense can score on the Bears attack. It's 12th. So they're still managed to barely be above 500. They kicked that field goal in Monday night. They kind of really surprised the Washington Commanders and got above 500. But this is a team that has its own struggles as well. Total offense for the both teams, you can see the Saints total offense ranked 24th in the NFL, just over 305 yards a game. The Bears at 338.6, which is 14th, middle of the pack. The Saints rushing attack at 19 in the NFL, just almost 110 yards per game. The Bears just a little bit better, almost 111 for 18. The passing offense for the Saints ranked 22nd with 196 yards a game versus the Bears, top 11 in the pros at almost 228 yards per contest. The total defense rank, the Saints are 18th in total defense, giving up 327.3 a game. They're tied 17th in NFL, allowing you to rush at them 140 yards, 14 yards, a game, and allowing you to pass at them at 213.3. So 18th rank, kind of getting a little bit better there. The Bears, you can see the Bears defense led by the Possum, 396 yards. They're giving up 27th in the NFL. They're one of the worst rush stopping defenses in the NFL. They give up over 156 yards per game, almost dead last here. And you can throw on them. I guess they're middle of the pack in terms of the secondary with 213. But you can run on them, right? You can see the punt averages right there. The turnover margin, Saints are still +4 and tied 6th in the NFL, while the Bears, their top statistic, family, is the fact that they get turnovers. They're +8 in the turnover margin and tied for number 1 in the NFL. This team gets turnovers, and that's something you have to watch out for. You can run on them. The special teams is middle of the pack, but they are good at forcing turnovers. That's one thing the Bears have done consistently well. 14 touchdowns total in the NFL versus 10 by the Saints. The Saints have 50 penalties through these 6 weeks of NFL action. The Bears have 43. The penalty yards are the same, as you can tell. So you can see the offensive rank, and it goes without saying, man. You heard Spencer Rattler throwing there the fact that he has to clean up. That's why I played the cleanup, man. We got to clean this up. I stopped saying clean up. I started saying, man, we got to iron this out, iron that out. And it's getting to the point where the New Orleans Saints are, they are, they're getting to that territory. They're getting to that area where enough of this talking, because people are getting tired. Kellen Moore is repeating himself, saying the same thing. The quarterback is saying the same thing. And when it gets to that point, it really starts to get annoying, right? And people start tuning you out because you're really repeating yourself. What's up, Chantel? Shout out to you. What's up, Ronnie? Ronnie says, why don't we run plays from the I formation? Well, I mean, the Saints, they don't have a fullback. So they'll use a tight end to rush at them, and I guess they use Stahl as a fullback, but they ain't running from the power I formation, because the key to the power I formation is you have to have power. The Saints don't have no power. We did the Patreon special. The Patreon Filmwork study. It's up for the family members for our Patreon, our YouTube membership family. And I pinpoint in the study and break down pretty much the Saints are not pushing through. They're not dominating that line. They're not dominating the offensive line. They're not blowing or pushing these defenders out of the way. And I've showed on the film that the Saints get blitzed by 4 linemen and they're 5 offensive linemen. I showed on the tape that Trevor Penning literally was up so high that the defensive tackle literally pushed his big goof ass over. He just pushed him over, and he fell back first onto the turf, because he's up too high, and at times you've seen Cesar Salad Ruiz in there missing blocks. You've seen McCoy. I pinpointed McCoy missed 2 or 3 blocks in that game. When McCoy to miss blocks. They're totally discombobulated and inconsistent. Like I've said, the veterans have not done a good job of leading these guys at all. The veterans look more confused than the young guys. They really do. They don't have, these veterans have no answers. No answers. It's stupid play after inconsistent play, one good play, and it's just the mentality is not there. The run the power I formation, you have to dominate. You have to have a mindset to dominate, a will to want to dominate. The Saints don't possess such a mindset currently. They're still trying to figure out the game. They're still believing the bullshit that the national naysayers said about them as a football team. They've believed it. They've swallowed it. They ingested it, and they became what the national people said they was going to be: a fumbling, stumbling, dumb football team that's as injury prone that'll eventually end up being one of the top and high pick teams in the upcoming NFL draft next year. They ingested it and believed it. And it's no excuse for 1-5 football when most of your people are healthy. It's just the truth, right? You got to have power to run the power eye, brother. And these people don't, they don't possess that strength, man. That's shameful, man, for me. That's shameful for me to even see that about my football team. But I must tell the truth. I have to keep it real. That's just what it is. What's up, Black Major? Shout out to you, my brother. AK says more run plays from under center, including all three running backs. Please take the pressure off our passing game. Offensive line is not consistently doing much of anything. When they stretch run, the linemen get there late. I've seen plays where the tight end missed blocks. The scrambling play they had with Spencer Rattler off to the left side with Foster Moreau out ahead of him. Foster Moreau literally blew the block that would have sprayed, kind of freed him up for a longer game. He literally went out there trying to block the cornerback and didn't block anybody. Cornerback went right past him and tackled Spencer Rattler while he was scrambling to that side. See what I'm saying? You got to have a will and a brain to be able to understand what's going on. And these guys are confused. They're chicken, whatever. They're just sorry, man. When the game is right in front of them, they don't want the game. They don't want to possess the game. They don't want to grab the game with both hands and take the win away from their opponents. They shrink in the face of the clutchness. This team is not clutch at all. And it shows, like in most of these games, except for that Seattle game, the Saints had an opportunity to win. And they shrinked in the face of the big moments of the game, whether it was drop touchdown passes, blown blocks, whatever the case was, they shrunk. They did not want it. The other team wanted it more. And it's just simply what it is. But anyway, fam, let's kind of get into this, man. Some of the statistics I got on screen right here that show you some of these guys that we'll be dealing with. As you know, Caleb Williams. These are the comparisons between the two. Rattler, you can see 139. That'll be obviously the talking point, the contention. Spencer would say there is none between these two guys. Now, they've had history in terms of college, never met in college and played against each other. But Williams kind of unseated Rattler from where he was and kind of moved him around. And ever since then, he's been in that mode. But Rattler's 139 for 203 for 6 touchdowns and the pick for 1,217 versus Caleb's 1,179, 98 of 159 for 9 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Caleb Williams leading the Bears to a 3-2 record. You see Kamara's numbers right there, and Swift, the former Lion, 70 carries for 2 touchdowns on 295 yards. Very good running back there. Romeo Odunze, the wide receiver, with 22 catches, 5 touchdowns, 328 yards. Chris Olave's questionable with I think it was the hip he had. Chris has 39 catches and a touchdown, 342 yards for him. He has 39 catches right now doing his thing. Carl Granderson, 4.5 sacks on his season. You see Dexter Sr., the defensive tackle, is 2.5 for his squad. Edmonds is the top tackler. Double D is ours at 51 right here. And this is just a small boil down of some of the things that we see when you're going to look at these teams here. This is a bigger one right here. As you can see, family, from the Bear side of things with Swift and all these. And like I said, as we go down here, you can see Caleb's numbers. We talked about Swift's numbers as well. We know that he's a guy, Swift is a guy that can use his legs. Williams is a guy that can use his legs as well. He's the team's second leading rusher. Matter of fact, he had 28 scrambles for over 100 yards. He averages 4 yards every time he scrambles, and he does have 2 touchdowns scrambling. Now, he does have 2 fumbles at the same time, but the reality is Caleb Williams will take off on you. He will run. Swift, the running back, is a real talented running back too. For them, he's a guy that's a speedster, runs inside and out, averages over 4 yards a carry. As you can see, he is also very good in the receiver game. He's a guy that can also catch. 3rd on the team in receptions, 21 targeted, 15 catches. Every time he catches the ball, he averages over 10 yards a catch, and he does have a touchdown as well. So they use DeAndre Swift in their running attack and their passing attack as well. This is a guy that helps. So the Swift and Williams tandem, they're going to often get ready to see that as well. And they do mix in the wide receivers in the running attack. As you can see, DJ Moore and I ain't gonna even try to pronounce his name, but those guys both, they use them in the running attack in these reverses and these little plays right here. Now, Romeo is their top receiver, 22 catches over 40 targets. The guy has 5 touchdowns. He averaged 15 yards a catch. This is one of the top guys we need to watch out for, because at the end of the day, you're going to have Kool-Aid McKinstry. Crystal Light McKinstry will have to be Kool-Aid McKinstry against Romeo. Romeo will cook you. You will make Crystal Light McKinstry or watered down sugar Kool-Aid, watered down Kool-Aid, or whatever you want to call him. It's not going to be a good look if he played like he did in this last game against these receivers, being out of position and all this kind of stuff. He bad technique, poorish angles, all this kind of stuff. These guys, and I mean the cornerbacks, period, can't afford. So Romeo is going to be a guy that Caleb Williams will throw at. DJ Williams is another very talented wide receiver the Saints have. He's a guy that you probably familiar with, DJ Moore, from his time with the Carolina Panthers. Very solid wide receiver, 19 catches off of 26 targets, 11 yards a catch. He has a touchdown as well. Very slick receiver. This is the type of receiver that the Saints will have problems with, because DJ Moore has speed. He can catch the ball. He runs good routes. And he's probably the most consistent of the receivers they have. You know, Romeo's the young guy on the block. They work really well together. But DJ Moore is the type of guy that will get behind the Saints in zone with that stupid weak zone that they like to run. And he will hurt them. He will hurt them. So we have to pay attention to guys like that. Remember, you just had Keyshawn Butte, who's he was the second wide receiver for them. He had a career game against the Saints defense. And I can see Romeo and probably more than likely DJ Moore having a very solid game against the Saints if they're playing this zone system where they're allowing Romeo and DJ to run unabated. If they don't press these guys and they allow them to release and get into their routes and don't disrupt anything, they will cut them in half. They will cut the Saints defense in half. You know, so a philosophy change has to happen there, and we'll talk more about that on there as well. All right, anyway, to keep it going, you see they also have Lester Burden III. He's another talented speedster that they use in different ways as well. 11 catches on 12 targets. He has 150 yards of offense. And notice the top 3 wide receivers for the Chicago Bears are all in the double digits in terms of the reception yardage. So, I mean, in terms of the catch average, Romeo averages almost 15 yards a catch. DJ Moore over 11. DeAndre Swift 10 a game per catch. That's, this is ridiculous. Burden III is 13.6. And Cole Kmet, who's also their starting tight end, he's 8 for 18. He averages, when he does catch the ball, he averages over 14 yards a catch. And Cortland Loveland is also their young tight end. He's getting into the mix too, getting 11. So Cole Kmet, the big tight end, another guy that's there, 14 and a half yards per catch with a touchdown. So you have to be mindful of these people. Now, these guys are not exactly world breakers. Romeo Oduzzi is definitely a talented young receiver. DJ Moore is as solid as they come. But the Saints special secondary, rather, will have to man up on this one. They're going to have to step up. Kool-Aid McKinstry, Alante Taylor, and Quincy Riley will have to step up in this game and not allow Caleb Williams to slice and dice them. The scheme has to change and morph. We cannot allow a non-pressure front and rear back in zone and allow Caleb Williams to run and average 5 yards a run on him anytime he wants to run, and for him to build up a rhythm, just like the first 4 or 5 games that we've seen where the Saints defense allows quarterbacks, they don't matter who they are, from Josh Allen to Sam Darnold, it don't matter who they are. Even Jackson Dart got into the act early on in that game, and when we played the Giants, get into rhythm. And then ultimately when the Saints start hitting the quarterback, it don't really matter as much because the guy has a rhythm with his offense. So some kind of way they're going to have to come up with something different where they allow these cornerbacks to press or at least jam these wide receivers and do not allow them to get free releases into their routes. Jamming them disrupts the route. It also buys more time for the defensive linemen to get home, if they're going to get home. It's a thinking man's game, bro, and they got to do something about it. Okay, anyway, let's go defensive. And Edmonds, who's a really talented linebacker, rather, he leads the team with 53 total tackles. He also has 2 interceptions. The linebacker there, you got Sewell there, who's the brother of our Sewell, who's there with 32 tackles as well. He has a forced fumble. Kevin Bayard, who is the former safety from the Titans, he's there. He is 3rd on the team in tackles, and he leads the team with interception. He has 3 interceptions for the season. And we talked about and made mention of the fact that their top sacker is Dexter Sr. We mentioned that as well. And this team, 8 takeaways, I think it is, that the Chicago Bears have, by a defense that's led by the old possum itself. The old possum is there. So if the Saints getting a win and beating Spencer Rattler, getting an opportunity to beat Caleb Williams, and the Saints getting able to smash some pie in the face of that possum would be a sweet win, to be honest with you, because that defense, oh man, their defense ain't really hitting. They're getting the turnovers, but the possum keep that up, he gonna be up there with Sean Payton. He eventually gonna end up with Sean Payton anyway. Defense is not all that, but they are getting the turnovers. Passanio is up there. I don't know if y'all realize that, but they have a few Saints up there. Passanio is up there with the Chi-Town Bears, man, trying to make his mark known. So there's a few things to make mention of on defense and how they play and this sort of thing. This is the depth chart right here. Put this on full screen for the family members so they can see what the depth chart is for the Chicago Bears. You can see Caleb Williams is there. DeAndre Swift, the top running back. Every now and again, you'll see the backup running back. They'll throw him in there. Wide receivers is Romeo with DJ Moore, who is dealing with an issue, but they expect him to play. And you can see Amade is also there, the former commander, wide receiver and speedster. He is also there. They also have Devin Duvernay, who's a speedster. Luther Burden, a third, who's also a speedster. So they have speed to stretch the field. Cole Kmet is a respected tight end, and Colston Loveland is a solid tight end rookie that they brought in to help. The offensive line is not all that family with what they have here with Joe Tunney and Drew Dahlman and all these guys, Jonah Jackson. The line is okay. And the Bears are trying to figure out ways to win. They have a lot of problems and issues. They're not perfect, but like I said, they're finding a way to win. They stayed in the game against Washington, and beating Washington was a big win for the Chicago Bears team. It got them over 500, and it might give them some momentum, and they're feeling good on a short week against the Saints. You can see defensively, Montez Sweat, Grady Jarrett, who's the former Falcon, is there. He's questionable. Garvin Dexter Sr. is the top sacker on the team. And then you can see the rest of them. Tremaine Edmonds, the top tackler on the team. TJ Edwards is inside. You see Noah Sewell outside. And then the cornerback room of Nashawn Wright, Tariq Stevenson, Kyle Gardner, and the safeties Shaquan Brisker and Kevin Bayard III, who is like I said, the top interceptor on the team. Carlos Santos, who is, I think Carlos was a former Tulane kicker, and Torrey Taylor are some of their guys. Devin Duvernay is a speed demon that you have to be aware of on special teams. So special teams can't do the BS and allow stuff to happen. We have to be very mindful of the speed that they have on special teams. And we have to also ourselves be special on special teams. Kind of at least give your offense an opportunity to flip the field every now and again to give them an opportunity to make some plays happen from a special team standpoint, as opposed to allow other teams to gain ground on short fields. Saints have to kind of change things around here. You know what I mean? So anyway, let me get into some of these parts, fam. I ain't going to try to keep y'all too long on the broadcast, but I just wanted to go over some points here and team strategies, right? So when we talking about our squad, right? We know the statistics. I just went over them. When we go to the Bears, they're coached by Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson was the former offensive coordinator with the Detroit Lions, had a lot of success with Coach Campbell up there. He took the Bears job, and this is what's going on this year. You know, he has Declan Dole, who's also another former Saints guy who's up there with the play calling. Offensive coordinator Ben Johnson calls the plays for him. They rank from an offensive standpoint. We talked about that. Their strategy, they rank in the top 4 in neutral zone game pass play percentages, play action play percentages. They rank middle of the pack in the no huddle rate, 17th in offensive play volume. They utilize Caleb Williams with a revamped passing attack. They like to try to speed it up, but Caleb is the focal point. He's the fulcrum of the offense, passing and running, using his wheels and his ability to move around the pocket, throwing on the run, this sort of thing. So the Saints will have to do basically what we've been talking about for a while. That means just having on this to be able to contain Caleb and not allow his legs to be an issue for us, right? Which we have not done a really spectacular job of containing anybody and pressuring anybody consistently. So unless something changed from a defensive standpoint and mindset, Caleb Williams is kind of licking his chops looking at the Saints defense, to be honest with you. Now, the defensive coordinator for the Bears is the old possum, Dennis Allen. Y'all know that. And he's taken over the team. Now, his defense is typically featured a 4-man fronts, the man coverage with matching principles, split safety looks, this sort of thing. His focus on third down and red zone situations and this type of thing. But he's really struggled in stopping the run. He's one of the worst run defenses in the league. I think they're 31st, middle of the pack with the secondary. And the one positive thing that they have is that they have the ability to take the ball away. They have 8 takeaways, which is first in the NFL, tied first with the NFL. So anyway, this is some of the keys to victory in no particular order. Protect Spencer Rattler. Rattler's the quarterbacks, and the Bears pass rush, they want to get after Spencer Rattler. The Saints offensive line has been woefully inconsistent. That has to change. They have to protect Spencer Rattler and give him, help there, allow him to feel confident in the pocket to go through the progressions and make the correct reads. The offensive line has to stand strong. Number 2, they have to establish the running attack. They got to use AK-41 if he's healthy. We know he's dealing with a little injury right now, but Kendre Miller's been really running the ball effectively. We have to use those 2 running backs in our running game, throw Taysom in there too, and also the legs of Spencer Rattler to control the clock and take pressure off the passing game. The running attack has to be the way the Saints win games, and we get into the play action to get downfield, right? Number 3, they got to contain Caleb Williams. We talked about that, limiting his ability to extend plays, make those accurate throws on the run. Saints pass rush, you need to be able to generate pressure on Caleb Williams. Can't sit back there and let him survey the field. Number 4, they got to cover the Bears receivers. The Bears have talented receivers. We talked about DJ Moore and Romeo Odunze. Luther Birdham III, the Saints secondary, has struggled, needs to improve in coverage to prevent the big plays. We've seen what happened last week with them attacking with the Patriots just attacking the Saints down the field and getting big strikes and blowing the game open and demoralizing the Saints defense and ultimately the team. That has to stop. 5, the Saints have to force turnovers. They have to force turnovers. The Bears defense thrives on turnovers. The Saints D needs to match that intensity and create their own takeaways to swing the momentum of the game. We know the Bears going to come in there in their hometown. They're going to want to take the ball away from the Saints offense. They cannot allow that to happen. The Saints are not sophisticated enough as an offense to be able to have multiple turnovers in the game and overcome them. They're not as sophisticated enough to do that just yet. I don't know if they will be this year, but at the same time, they cannot allow that to happen. Red zone efficiency, right? Despite the record, the Saints have a positive red zone plus minus. They converting the red zone opportunities and touchdown would be vital against what the Bears are doing from a defensive standpoint. Red zone, Saints have to win in the red zone. If they get in the red zone, they have to score. No field goals, all this dumb stuff. They have to get touchdowns in the game. If you get in the red zone, you have to score. They have to have an onus of scoring in the red zone. If we got to put the big Valley in there or a big 6'8" tight end and throw at them, the Saints have to get in when they're in the red zone. They have to score. We got too many weapons. We got Taysom, we got Elvin, we got all these other people. We have to score in the red zone. We got to limit the explosive plays is the next key to it. Bears offense can create explosive plays both on the ground and through there. The Saints defense must focus on preventing that from happening, which we talked about, limiting these explosive plays by switching up the defensive philosophy. I think Coach Staley really needs to stop doing this dumb defense when he's really not getting pressure on the quarterback. He's dropping all his linebackers into coverage. And when those guys can't contain the scrambling quarterback, he got nothing. He got 5, 10, 15 yards worth of green that he can run and pick up a first down. When you got him pent back there, this guy leaks out and gets the first down. We have to change these schemes up because it's causing really big problems defensively speaking. We got to win the turnover battle. Always a crucial factor in protecting the ball on offense and creating takeaways on defense. Saints have to protect the ball. Spencer only has 1 interception this year, but he needs to throw the damn ball down the field more. He loves intermediate and check down routes. He has to be able to force himself when he sees single high looks. He has to attack them. The offensive play calling has to be more intelligent. When you see single high safety, think about attacking them. If you got a one-on-one matchup on the outside with your wide receivers, you got to give them an opportunity to win, especially if it's Rashid Shaheed, none of these guys, these cornerbacks on the Bears can guard them. The Saints have to figure out ways to be able to attack downfield and stop being so timid about it all the time. So if the guy drop it, we got to keep firing. Look, just like what the Patriots did. They just kept firing at the Saints. You get a pass interference or a touchdown, just keep firing. Let them know that we're going to get downfield by any means necessary. We have to adapt that mentality. We have to break this stuff open. We got to win the turnover battle. I talked about that, protecting the ball and creating takeaways. Special teams excellence is called for as well. Generating big plays, preventing them on special teams could significantly impact the outcome of the game because the Saints really need to keep doing what they're doing. Blake Grupe was perfect last week. We might be needing him to hit some field goals in this matchup. Of course, he'll be kicking outside in Chicago Stadium with the elements. We'll see how that works. But at the same time, if we're in the red zone and we get in the red zone and we're scoring, let's limit our field goals. I want touchdowns over field goals. Saints have to be able to score in that red zone. But special teams excellence is needed, especially in coverage, punt coverage, and kickoff coverage. And also maybe we can get our special teams to finally start blocking sometimes so we can be able to use some of our returners, both on the punt and kick side, to be able to at least flip the field for the offense and make it a little easier for the Saints offense not to march all the way back from their 20 or their 15 and have long drives. Maybe we can have some success there. All right. Also, the Saints have to adapt to Allen's defense. The Possums defense is sometimes complex and adaptable. Saints offense, we need to adjust to the different looks and pressures, which means Spencer Rattler has to pay attention to what's going on in front of him. He has to be able to not only point his hand and tell, hey, you go into motion so we can see if they're in zone or man to man. Outside of that, you have to be able to pay attention to whoever's lining up to blitz at you, and whoever's vacating their guarded areas of the field. If you got a safety that's coming down and he vacates that area of the field, you're going to have to manipulate that and get that ball out there and find a one-on-one matchup and make the defense pay for blitzing you. You don't sit back there and pity pat your feet and throw off the back feet. If you want to be a strong quarterback, a starter in this NFL, you stand tall in that goddamn pocket, you plant and you throw. And if they hit you, then that's a part of the goddamn game. That's a part of the game. You won't be a starter in the league. That's what it takes to win. Standing and looking in the face of the gun and delivering. That's what it's about. We don't have no deers here. They get shot. Deers get shot down here. Win the coaching battle. Kellen Moore and Staley on the Saints side will have to face off against Ben Johnson and the Possum on the other side. Game planning, game adjustments, mess. This is the chess game between the game. Taking advantage of what Dennis Allen give you. If Dennis Allen blitzing you, you make sure you make him pay for that by finding the correct wide receiver that is on one-on-one matchup or in the area where you can throw where that safety's not there. If they're overloading the box, and we talked about this on the Patreon show this week, not running into 8-man fronts, not running into 8-man fronts with a running back, you don't even have a damn fullback. If they have the defensive line loaded on the left side, you alter your game plan to attack them on the opposite side. If they have people on the left and it's blitzers coming through the left and they're overloaded on the left, go to the right side. Don't run at the left. Smart stuff. Be smarter. If you watch the film, it pisses you off because you see the problem with a lot of the Saints calls is they're just stupid. They're just stupid ass calls. Why are you running into an 8-man box? Why are you running to an overloaded left side if the right side is wide open? Why are you doing that? Just stupid calls, man. And then you can see why they losing. These are idiot calls. This offensive coordinator are making. It pisses me off, man. Watching a film like, look at this dumbness. No matter why they're not winning anything, these stupid ass calls by these offensive coordinators not getting them anywhere. You don't run if you got an 8-man box right there, and them people showing like they blitzing. Don't run the ball into the teeth like that. Find another way out, even if you got to go to the opposite side of the field or switch out, audible out to get vertical down the field. If they're stacked up like that, there's opportunities all across for your people in one-on-one matchups. You have to locate them and make them pay. That's what I'm talking about. So the Saints have to win the chess match. That means Dumb Dust Nussmeier and Kellen Moore and all his people have to win the chess match against Coach Johnson and the Bears people. They got to win the chess match. They have to outperform and out-scheme this team to beat them. It started up here. Number 12, neutralize the Bears' interior offensive line. The Bears have invested heavily on the offensive line. They spent a lot of money there. The Saints' interior defensive line with Brian Bresee and Nate Shepard will need to be disruptive. Brian Bresee is going to have to get on that. We got Chase Young back making all this money. Chase Young got to earn his money. That's the bottom line. Chase Young got to earn his goddamn money. Brian Bresee has to level up, and I think it's almost time to bench Nate Shepard. It's almost time to bench Nate Shepard. Let me see what John Ridgeway can do. Bullard, Jonathan Bullard. I'm ready to bench Nate Shepard, man. It's just not working, man. But yeah, they got to dominate. Contain DJ Moore and Romeo, limiting the impact of their wide receivers. The chemistry that they have will be crucial. Disrupting that time, and I talked about that. Take advantage of the weak run defense. Bears have struggled against the run. Elvin Kamara, Kendre Miller, Taysom Hill, and even Spencer Rattler needs to all be put into that smartly and taking advantage of running on that Chicago Bears defense. Minimize the penalties. Costly penalties, stifling drives, giving opponents opportunities. Saints need to play disciplined football. Haven't seen that all season long. Minimizing the penalties is key. The Saints have 50 penalties right now as we stand. 50 penalties. Ridiculous. Win the third down battle. That's as not as important as the red zone, but close to. The Saints have to win on third down. They have to stop the Bears on third down, and they have offensively have to win on third down because that impacts the time of possession and scoring opportunities. If we can dominate on third, which means we're controlling the clock. We're running and controlling the clock. We're stealing valuable time and more importantly, reps away from the Chicago Bears, making them throw out pieces of their game plan to keep up. So this is also important. securing this, like making the tackles, preventing yards after catch, you know, not taking poorish angles when you take, and I'm talking right to several Saints defensive players, and particularly missed tackles on the middle linebackers. Demario Davis and Pete Werner are missing too many goddamn tackles to be veterans that's making money. They miss too many tackles. That needs to stop. They need to make these tackles, man. Capitalizing on the Bears' defensive inconsistencies despite the recent turnover success, Bears have shown weakness throughout the team. Saints need to exploit the running attack and be able to throw on these guys and get into the play action. And also, another thing is, too, mental toughness is a part of the game. Saints have to be competitive in close games. Despite the 1-5 record, despite all the boobery and the stupidity, they got to maintain focus and battle for the entire, not 25%, not 50%, not 75%, but the entire goddamn game. Especially in a hostile environment, this will be crucial to them having success. This will build mental toughness for this weak 1-5 team if they keep battling and take the game away from the Chicago Bears. That's important. Mental toughness is big. Strong start. They got to get off to a strong start offensively and defensively. That builds pressure on the adversaries and also confidence for us to take that away from them. We have to get timely sacks. Generating sacks at the key moments can disrupt what the Bears do offensively, and force pumps and punts and just disrupt all of the flow and the momentum, take the crowd out of the game. We have to do that. They got to get better at disguising their coverages, confusing Caleb Williams with different defensive looks, blitzing him from different ways, blitzing and containing him, giving him different looks to make him confused, and slowing down the time so we can get at him, force turnovers that way. And then the final thing to mention is that we have to control the clock and sustain long drives with the running attack, because the Bears suck at stopping the run, and we need to take advantage of that. So clock control, time of possession is huge for the Saints to win this game. So that's some of the stuff that I got for y'all right here, fam. And that's the keys to the game. That's the key. I done gave y'all 24 or 25 of them, man, that we talked about. You know, and one of the things that I'm looking at is the mental toughness is big. You know, not only just mental toughness to be tough mentally, but also mental and to have intelligence, high IQ football. The Saints are not exhibiting high IQ football. They're not. You watch the film, and we've watched the film. They're not exhibiting high IQ football on blocking, on tackling, and just the fundamental things. What makes it so concerning is the fact that the veteran people have been with the Saints that are usually good tacklers aren't good tacklers anymore. Guys that had a concept of what they were doing from a secondary standpoint is struggling and lost. Guys that were known for catching passes phenomenally, tapping passes up, one-hand grabs, or dropping them now. Guys that were really steady and good at what they did on the offensive line, like our center is missing blocks. It's just unbelievable what we're seeing from the veterans. The Saints veterans right now are so disappointing. But the mental toughness and the overall football intelligence is what's needed for the Saints to secure a victory against the Chicago Bears. They just have to have it and want it more than the Bears. And we have to score more than one effing touchdown a game, if you pardon my French. We have to be able to score more than one touchdown a game to win. We got to put up multiple touchdowns in the goddamn red zone, and we got to throw more than at least a half a dozen times downfield when we see single high sets. We have to take advantage of that, man. We have to stretch out the defenses, and we have to bring the explosives back. The explosives are not going to come by themselves. You have to be able to force a lot of this open and break it open. Attack downfield with your speed demons. Get vertical again. And this is Nussmeier's stupidity is what's causing this is with these dumb calls running into these 8-man box, running into overloaded sides of the field. This foolishness this idiot is doing. It's just amazing, man. This Nussmeier dude, man, is a moron with these play calls. And Kellen Moore is pretty stupid too for doing that. You don't do that. You don't run into these loaded fronts like this when you can attack them downfield out of an audible. That's why audibles were created. And they were created to find a better play than the one that you're about to run. Stupid team, man. Stupid team, losing team. That's a stupid, undisciplined team makes a losing team. So in order to get that back, they have to become smart and do the right thing. It's bottom line. Ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it, man. They got to do better than this trash that we watching. Anyway, man, listen, man. Y'all got any questions, man? Throw them in the chat. I'm right at an hour, man. I'm very proud of myself because, I usually, go, be doing this long crap. And on a Thursday, and I know you guys, I'm at y'all right now. It's just at almost 10 o'clock my time. But any questions, listen, I'll answer whatever you have. Please feel free to throw them in the chat. Like I said, I'm going to try to go through them, your comments and questions right quick and as much as I can. But if questions, throw them in there now. Oh, yeah, by the way, I put the poll up tonight, fam. I put the poll up tonight right now. I just put it about an hour ago. We got about over 100 people, so I'm proud of the family. It was over 100 folks have chimed in on the poll tonight. And of course, you can see it's up here. The ask, all right, family, it's time to make that call. Who wins the Sunday? Well, over 100 people right now. Get your call, get your vote in, fam. Vote on the poll. Go to our post session of the Sports Coma YouTube page, the community section, the post session, and you can vote on this poll. 118 votes so far, 78% of which say the Saints beat the Bears. 22 say no. So that's what we got right now, and people are saying that the Saints should beat the Bears. And will they beat the Bears? Man, I don't know, fam. They should, but once we say should, these people don't play full games. They look confused. They don't know who they blocking. They missing tackles. They dropping passes. They drop touchdown passes. They miss field goals at times. They're just a fumbling, stumbling, dumb team. And until they start really showing consistent intelligence and respect for fundamentals, which they're not doing, then I can't really say that they beat anybody like this. They're too busy beating themselves. All right, anyway, what's up, Bishop? Shout out to you, bro. Much love. Appreciate you. Oh, okay, thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. AKA says it would be great, but Rattler too short to play behind Proctor at guard. Proctor? I have to play Shuck. Listen, if Spencer Rattler don't win this game against the Chicago Bears, they're probably going to bench him for the next week. Because if you're 1-6, your season's basically over with, man. 1-5 is a stretch right now because only 4 teams ever went to the playoffs with this record. But if you're 1-6, man, they're gonna put Shuck in there. It's Shuck time now. Second round quarterback. Regardless of what his statistics are, if you're not winning the game, the first thing they're gonna do is pull the quarterback, especially if they drafted the guy high. This is the environment. Spencer Rattler needs to throw caution to the wind. Being conservative, listen, it ain't all his fault because the guys are dropping the passes, but at the same time, he's going to have to be more vocal with these guys. Seriously. Cuss at these veterans. Curse at them. They don't deserve no respect how they playing, man. These guys don't deserve no kind of respect how they playing, man. But they happily cashing them checks, let me tell you. Mad Drummer says, my thing is, Q, if we could see why can't the coaches see if not right? Man, these people can see it, bro. They got to make the call and stop playing effing games, man. The tape is clear. The tape is clear. Did y'all see on the footage, man? I was showing on the Patreon. Did y'all see how Penning was getting manhandled by that defensive tackle? That defensive tackle pushed that bitch over, man, like a overloaded refrigerator. He fell on the top of his, you know where the neck area where your shoulders meet the neck at? That's where he went over. The dude pushed him over like he was a top heavy dresser. He he pushed him over like a top heavy dresser. I showed it on the tape. I was like, look at this dude, man. McCoy missing blocks. And the Saints offensive line they're not blowing or clearing out those defenders so the runners can run. They're not. They engage in them, but they're not moving them. They're not moving them consistently. They're not blowing them up the line of scrimmage. That's why all those runs look as difficult as they are. They're not blowing. They're not dominating and moving furniture. They're not resituating the line of scrimmage. Is what I'm telling y'all. They're not doing it. It's an answer for all of this shit, man, and it's on the tape. Ty says I agree about the stupid calls 100%. Bro, it's what it is. These calls are hard. These offensive calls are horrible. That draw, that constant use of that option draw pass, and it's just the dinky donkey do east-west nature of the Saints offense. They go east to west more than they do north to south. This is not a vertical offense. This offense lack verticality. It really does. This is an east-west offense. Why you have an east-west offense with all this speed? You're supposed to attack downfield, man. Attack downfield. But the crazy part about it is these guys must know, and maybe they don't, that if you're attacking east-west, the defense is going to play you like that. There is no need for them to be playing them safeties that far back. If you could throw in these passes in within a 10 to 12 yard window, they're just going to put their defenders in there. That's why all that stuff look tough. When they catch the ball, the defenders was right on their back. They're not adjusting to nothing the defense is doing. They're stupid, man. That's what I'm saying. They're stupid. It's just dumb. It's just dumb, bro. It's a chess match, and the Saints don't have the brains at all to win no chess match with nobody. You don't run in the 8-man box when you can audible out and throw a deep ball or do something else. You don't run to the loaded side of the field. You go to the opposite side, switch and go to the opposite side. They don't do any of that. The majority of the time they're doing stupidness. That's why they 1-5 and sitting up here saying, well, we got to clean it up. What you mean dude, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You don't do those type of things looking for success. Look at the tape. We got it done, man. We got it on tonight. I was showing y'all what Spencer Rattler's faults was. I was like, man, we're going to focus on why the Saints offense is not moving. And what did we do? Y'all take a look at the tape tonight on Patreon. We did it tonight, and I showed y'all what was going on. You're like, Q, what's going on? I showed y'all what was going on, fam. I showed y'all several times what passes you're missing on because you're going to intermediate and check down areas as opposed to going up the field, and their wide receivers running up the field with no safety support over them and one-on-one matchups with the cornerback. And the wide receiver has the leverage and he has the corner on his back, and we're not attacking it. I showed you what's happening. I showed you. All right, Mad Drummer says Ruben Bain and Proctor and on downs on my list was first. Okay, I got you, brother. All right. AK says maybe Jordan Tyson, but he reminds me of Olave. The Saints have a lot going on, man, but it's not a talent thing. It's the use of the talent. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. How you have Rashid Shaheed and don't know how to get him? Bram, listen to me on this. It's just not hard, man. Rashid Shaheed is arguably one of the fastest men in the entire NFL. They had timed him, said he was running over 20 miles per hour in the game. Who does that? You mean to tell me a guy that's that fast and you can't find a way to get him the ball on Sundays? And you talking about we having problems getting vertical, and you have one of the fastest men in the league? That's not a talent or a speed issue. That's a stupid ass offensive coordinator coach combination who don't know how to take advantage of their personnel. That is cut, dry truth. How do you have one of the fastest players in the league, but you can't throw the ball to him deep? Why not? What cornerback can cover him? None. So why isn't he got 3 or 4 touchdowns by now? That's a problem with the Saints offense. They're stupid. They don't know how to use their personnel. They do stupid stuff on the field with dumb calls, and they don't take advantage of the defense when they give them an opportunity to. They don't make them pay for blitzing them. It's all that. It's on tape, man. It's on tape. They can sit up there and play all that bullshit they want, but I see exactly what's going on that tape, and so do you. All right, that's right, Ikea, top-heavy dresser. That's right. You go and watch. Y'all ain't see that film. Y'all ain't see that part when that boy pushed Penning over. That boy dominated Penning in that game. And Cesar Ruiz was doing his old tricks, too. He was getting beat again. That's what he does. He have a good game, and then 2-3 games, he's shitty again, and then he have another good game. But Penning is blocking up too high. He giving up his leverage, and them guys are figuring them out, and they pushing them down. They knocking them out the way. That guy is a waste. He is We can't do nothing for him. It's over for him. His mind is already messed up. His technique is bad. It's just, dude, come on, bro. Penning got to go. And so do Cesar Ruiz. If y'all serious about changing the offensive line, we need to really see about changing out these guards and finding a center of the future behind Eric McCoy, because McCoy looked like shit too. He was terrible in that game. He was blowing blocks, getting pushed around. This ain't the same McCoy that you know. Jane Doe says, if we know we in a rebuild, what would be the best record if the line is bad? That's not Rattler. It's all of them, bro. The line is awful. They're not blocking correctly. But Rattler, the line is also bad, but they at times are giving him opportunities to throw the ball up the field. Spencer Rattler's favorite areas of the field is the intermediate stuff and the checkdowns. Why? Because he's conservative. He's not a gunslinger. He's not going to put the ball in harm's way. His first thing is he loves to look for that intermediate area because it's safety for him. He can find the ball on the slant or a comeback route or somebody sitting down in front of him. He'll throw it at there and then throw it right at him or throw it low if he got to throw it so it don't turn into an interception. He kind of losing the fact of throwing the ball deep. Even when he threw it to Chris Olave to open up the gameplay, didn't he underthrow him? His arm wasn't tired. When he first opened up with that throw to Chris Olave, he underthrew Chris Olave. He underthrew him. Olave had to wait for the ball. The cornerback caught up to him. He found him deep, but he underthrew him. You get what I'm saying? This has to improve. So he's a part of the offense too, and he has issues and stuff he has to fix. Like when we studied the film, there were plays that were out there. There were plays, one-on-one wide receiver plays that he decided to go intermediate or check down on while they had guys running down the field with one-on-one matchups with no safeties over him. He elected to go intermediate or check down. Now, sometimes it was because he had pressure in his face, but sometimes and also another thing is he's not like reading the blitzing linebackers or blitzing players coming at him. He doing a shitty job of making them pay. Like it's different if you don't see the blitzer, obviously knock you on your ass. But when you can see the guy at the safety come down from the safety level to the linebacker level, and then tip a little further, and you literally watch him do that, and then run around the line at you, and you tiptoe back and throw off your back foot to Chris Olave with the cornerback on his foot, when Jawan Johnson cycling in the area that the safety vacated. All he had to do was plant his foot in the ground and throw that ball in that area because Jawan Johnson had the linebacker on his back. All he had to do was throw it in that area, and Jawan Johnson would have caught that ball in the area the safety vacated and would have been inside the 5-yard line close to the touchdown. That's on the tape. But see, the crazy part is, even though you're not giving them the interceptions and you're not turning over, but you also are not giving them the wins. See? So you think being benched, it won't. They already committed to a second round pick to a quarterback to you, and they 1-5. They go 1-6. They're gonna sit your ass down, man. You need to throw caution to the wind. And the hell what they say about him, you got to move the ball. You got to be responsible and explosive. And let me tell y'all another thing. That Tyler Shuck dude, he don't have no problem throwing that ball out there. He'll give you an opportunity. He like Jameis Winston sort of in terms of throwing the ball out there. He'll throw that damn ball downfield to give them wide receivers an opportunity to catch it, the Rashid Shaheeds and all those. I go back to the Rashid Shaheed thing. Rashid Shaheed's one of the fastest wide receivers in the NFL, and the Saints can't get him. He should have like 3 touchdowns by now, at least 3. You can't get the ball downfield to Rashid. Who could cover him? Nobody. And they're not having the safeties over him all the time. On the film, there's one-on-one matchups with cornerbacks with no safety support. But even if they rotate a safety over there, he'll blow the top off if you just put the ball out to him. So like I said, man, at the end of the day, it simply is what it is, man. You know, they all have an issue and a problem. You know, it's a lot. Like I said before, when a team is 1-5, it's not one thing going on. It's a bunch of things going on wrong, and it ain't just going on offensively. It's defensively and special teams. It's everywhere. 1-5 mean you have a disaster going on in multiple rooms. Really. Mad Drummer says, Q, like I said, Proctor put him inside or Banks. Yeah, we need some help there, fam. Maul says, Q, ignore your rules and go for 3 more hours. No, bro, I can't do it today. Maybe another day, my brother. But thank you. Reese says, we got to talk about giving up 8 third and longs. Yes, indeed, bro. No, you're right, bro. You know, you're absolutely right on that. The Saints, like I said, and I'll go back to my previous statement, what I just said, is that when you're 1-5, it's not just one thing happening or 2 things, 3. It's a multitude of different things across the team that is going wrong. Guys ain't studying. Guys ain't committing to their fundamentals. Guys missing tackles. They need to be hitting the dummy. They need to be on the jug machine. They need to be in the fumble drills. See, there are drills that they run in training camp that's supposed to stop the drop passes, the fumbles, the bad blocking. All of this is stuff that you're supposed to pick up. You practice in training camp, and this is what you go back to when you're struggling. The Saints ain't doing none of that because they keep going through the same stuff week after week, which shows they're not committed to fixing it because they're not focusing on fixing it, or either they don't know what to fix. You know, so like I said, Kellen Moore needs to stop being cool with these people, dog, because it ain't getting you nowhere. I mean, you don't have to point your finger at them and be rough like I am, but at the same time, you need to start benching people, dog. You need to start benching these bum-ass players, man. They don't know how to block. That ain't consistent. That's dropping passes. That's missing tackles. It's time for these guys to go and give chances to other guys who really want to be here, that know how to catch and that's willing to block and learn and win. That's when it comes down to. And you can smile all day if you want. You can put them big ass Mr. Ed teeth out there, everything. You can smile and all that. But at the same time, man, you got to start benching these guys, bro, because it's not catching up. Yeah, all of them responsible. Ain't nobody innocent in this. 1-5, nobody's innocent, bro. That's why I was saying I put the offense under the microscope on Patreon the last 2 shows, because I really want to let me put them under the microscope and see exactly what's going on here, and that's what I discovered. You can see they consistently are not a good blocking team. They do not move the line of scrimmage from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, they do not hold up the line of scrimmage either. Both lines are creaky. They leaky. They're not smart. They're weak. They get pushed around, both lines. You can't win in the league if you don't have a strong line. You can't. You know, so it's many different things, bro. But I gave y'all guys 25 reasons tonight of what, of keys to victory for the Saints. If you miss it, you can go back and listen to it, man. We went through the breakdown. So anyway, with that being said, man, listen, I appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. We up in this thing. I shall see if I can come back on Thursday. If not, then I'll be back on Friday to kind of go at you guys again with some more Saints stuff, man. But listen, for my Patreon and YouTube membership family, y'all check out the stream. Is up. The latest film study of film work is up for you guys. Thank y'all for being patient. I couldn't release it yesterday. I had all type of computer issues, but I promise that I have it for you today, and it is up and ready to go, baby. You can watch it after this. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to get out on that. Listen, fam, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a beautiful day tomorrow, safe day tomorrow, and we'll talk again. Much love. Who Dat? Peace.
Yeah. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who dat. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Vincent, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. Thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, running like this, and I'm a who dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Coma
Yeah.
with Big Q and the guys on the
All right.
PRO Media
Let's go.
Network.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who Dat too. The Who Dat, that's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available.